So hello everyone, Bad with Money podcast is back. When are we posting this? Monday. Okay, so April 24th, so in 2 days, the Bad with Money podcast will return. Please go and subscribe. It's back. It's season 4. It's bigger and better than ever.
How?
Well, the conversations are longer. You thought I wouldn't have an answer. We're getting into deep dives. We get to talk to some people that I'm obsessed with and super fangirl about.
How long is each episode?
Like an hour.
How many episodes?
Well, season 4 is 15, but we're contractually obligated to do more seasons, so pretty exciting.
Whoa. Sugar, can't wait. You know how on some channels people talk about the things that they like?
I mean,
and
yeah.
They'll be like, oh, this is my beauty routine.
Uh-huh. Oh, yes.
Or
okay.
like, these are the clothes that I like.
Yes.
I thought we could do that, but with content.
Oh, like recommendations?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll go first.
Oh, you had some stuff you wanted to recommend?
Yeah. Here's my big recommendation.
Okay.
We're in the 5th and final season of Jane the Virgin.
Oh, yes. I've seen people tweeting about this.
And so it's time to hop on this train.
See, this is hard because I don't watch it, so I can't engage with you on this.
Why don't you watch it?
I don't know. I guess sometimes when things are critically acclaimed, I like to wait until like they've been like people are done talking about them and then I'll watch it. I have been obsessed with another YouTube channel and I'm really sorry. Another YouTube show that
okay.
is similar to ours.
Similar but better.
Yeah, similar but better. Which is a show called UNHHH.
What's it called?
It's called but they say it in the show like that it's called It's these two drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race and they just talk shit basically similar to how we do, but they have good editing. So I see a lot of us in them.
But like they're 2.0.
It's funny because it's like funny to be someone in a comedy duo watching another comedy duo.
I'm being like, wow, I wish I was a part of that one.
Kind of.
Yeah.
What else do you like?
Okay, so I told you a little bit about this, but I listened to a really interesting episode of Invisibility, which is a podcast that's available wherever you get your podcast, similar to our podcast. And it was a really interesting episode, because it's called The End of Empathy, and I encourage everyone to go listen to it, because basically, like, one of the main producers did this story about this like former incel, a involuntary celibate, men's rights activist kind of guy, so she did a story about him, and then she gave like that tape to this like woman who was basically like, auditioning to be hired as a producer to make her own story out of it. And her version of the story was like, fuck this guy.
Yeah,
whereas,
so it
like
was...
where the like original producers was like showing empathy and like making you feel for him, whereas like the other version was like, well, everything he did was horrible.
Yeah, so you were saying it really shows like the value of reporting.
Yes,
and
how you how manipulative it can be.
Yes,
like literally the same exact quote can make you feel so differently depending on how it's delivered to you.
And the context, yeah.
And then it was also interesting because the two producers like kind of had it out about their different points of view and the different way they reported.
So where can people find that?
Just wherever your podcasts are sold. Your turn.
This is another duo. I like My Favorite Murder, but that's basic. Everyone likes My Favorite Murder.
Yeah.
But that's also a duo, a comedy duo.
A
podcast comedy duo named Karen and Georgia, and they do a show called My Favorite Murder, which is about true crime. But, you know what I saw that was so interesting that they posted about? It was, I just started following it. It's this, so like, you know how there's like Jane Does and John Does, and people are like, we'll never identify this body. Well, there's this thing called, I think, like the Trans Doe Network, and it's these people who are like working on identifying these Jane Does or John Does because they realized that the body was never identified because the person was trans. So like when they found the body, like in the 80s or in the 90s or whatever, the cops were like unidentified male dead. And then they never identified him or got like closure for the family or friends or whatever. And these people realized that like because probably that wasn't actually a man. Like it wasn't, they were just going by the bones or by the body or whatever. So they do a different police sketch of them as they would have looked in real life as a trans woman, and then they're like finding who the people are or whatever. So I was like, that's fascinating. So I fell real deep into that, and I think that's like such admirable work.
Where do you fall into that? What is
Well, it was so the Fall Line podcast did a podcast about it, and then also they posted on Instagram. It's like at Transdo Network or something, or look it up on Instagram. But they have like a bunch of different police sketches on there. It was so cool.
My next one is the Netflix show Sex Education.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen that yet?
No.
It's the best show I've ever seen.
Okay.
It's a show that I wish I had made.
Okay, great.
It takes place in England in the countryside, and it's about a kid who is like kind of sexually repressed, but his mom is
Gillian Anderson, I saw this.
Yeah, is a sex therapist, and so he kind of becomes like an unofficial sex therapist at his high school, and like teams up with this bad girl to like give advice to people about, you know, like those who can't do teach sort of thing. And it's incredible, and the music is wild, and then also pretty sexually explicit, which made it fun to watch the finale with my parents.
Why did you watch the finale with your parents?
Because I was home, and it was like either that or one of their like very depressing medical dramas. What are you reading now?
What am I reading? I mean, the Al-Anon Big Book. So highly recommend.
You read that whole thing?
I just started, yeah. I read Sam Irby. Do you know Samantha Irby?
No.
She's incredible. She's an incredible writer. I read her book, Meaty, and also her book, We Are Never Meeting in Real Life. Those are both great books.
What are they about?
Essay collections, and she's just like a funny sort of like black queer. She wrote on that show SHRILL.
Oh.
But she's like,
SHRILL. Watch SHRILL.
Watch SHRILL. But
That
Sam Irby is a really fun writer, and you should read her books. They're fun.
I'm reading The Last Romantic.
Is it about you?
The book is like about this family and like what happens to them over the years, but it's interesting because it's also the present is like 2078 or something. So there's like minor differences to the present, but like so she's growing up like during our time.
Oh.
It's really interesting.
But they have like computer chips in their hands and stuff?
No, there just seems to be a lot of natural disasters.
That checks out.
Yeah.
That seems actually more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
These are not books I'm reading now, but can I just recommend them?
Sure.
Without a Doubt by Marcia Clark.
Okay.
Which is about the O.J. Simpson trial.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to bring it back to the O.J. Simpson trial, as I do a lot of times when we talk.
I guess my other recommendation would just be to eat more protein.
Yeah. Wigs. Buy wigs. I have a wig on.
That's not a wig.
It's
Do you
a,
know
it's
what
a
a
clip-in
wig is?
ponytail.
But that's different than
That's
a wig.
fine. A clip-in ponytail. I bought another clip-in ponytail that's blue, so look out for that. And then I also bought just a wig, a regular wig. This is my new thing. If you are, like me, running from yourself, I can't recommend wigs. I also bought color contacts.
Ooh, what color?
Like blue and green. I'm just gonna be different.
Well, like, what about your personality?
Same.
Eh.
And then this is fun also. Like, it's fun.
It's not heavy?
No.
Oh, wow.
I got it from a place called Pretty Party, but they don't sponsor us, so. What's like music that you're into right now?
Oh, thank you for asking. You know what's weird is I just recently realized I like the Beatles a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I was always like, they're fine, but I wasn't like a diehard, and now I'm like more into the Beatles.
I would think you would like them because you like a good classic.
Yeah. No, I like some. I don't like all their stuff, but I like some of it.
What are you listening to?
Just like the Beatles. I listen to a lot of pop punk, and then Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh, you love Carly Rae Jepsen.
And Betty Who.
You love Carly Rae Jepsen. Betty Who's that song "Language" is very good.
I haven't heard it.
It's on the new one, I think. But also, so with the Beatles, you know that my Instagram handle is a Beatles reference, right?
Yes.
People never get that.
I get it.
But I used to love the Beatles. In high school, I had a very big crush on George Harrison, young George Harrison, old George Harrison. Let's be real.
I asked my mom recently. I was like, "Was George Harrison anyone's favorite?" And she said, "Yeah, weirdos." And I was like, "Yeah, he was Gabby's favorite."
What am I listening to? My usual like female vocalists. Like just a lot of. I always like a good like lady singer. I can't remember. I've been listening mostly to podcasts, to be honest.
I've been listening to podcasts.
More podcasts than music lately.
I
have a playlist called Gabby Says Relax, and it's just like Chopin, Bach, Beethoven, like just me trying to get my life together. And then let's see what's on this playlist.
I felt like a real humble brag.
You know the Bachelorette's coming back.
Oh, all I can recommend to you guys is The Bachelorette.
Bachelorette's coming
so that
back.
You guys know where I'm at emotionally
Yeah.
and what I'm thinking about always. And
Yeah.
wow, I can't wait because the producers say that we don't know her at all.